And that should be me live. Hello, he says, hopefully. Hello, hello, hello. There we go. Desktop audio as well. All right. How are ya? Are you okay? Good heavens, it's lovely to see you all. Yeah, I always do a stupid weather report. Really, I babble on about the weather whenever we start this. I've got to tell you now, it's been unrelentingly unpleasant for quite a few weeks. But, winter. I get it. It's fine. This morning is absolutely beautiful outside. We've got blue skies and sunshine with a little bit of light cloud, but nothing you'd call cloud. And then, when you sit on your phone app and you kind of look at the weather thing and then you scroll forward to see how far ahead the weather forecast goes, it's basically the same for about the next week and a half, as far as we can tell. I'll take that, honestly, because it's been grim as hell. Really awful. Anyway, all right, how are you? I hope you're well. I hope you're well. I hope you are genuinely well. Give us a hello. Can you actually hear me? I haven't even looked to see if you can hear me. Sun shining in Derbyshire, the Buur Pit. What more do you need? Less Buur Pit, honestly, I'd say. Aki UK is here. Alzo's here. Hello, mate. C6 Sailor, how are you? Exania, hello, buddy. How are you? Hello, Exania. 57 Thorns. Brian Hanna. Bob. Yagashura is here. Do you like the way I roll the R on the Yagashura there? Not me, mister. Hello, mate. Kevin Turner. Hello, buddy. How are you? Abriel Keane. Hello, mate. Commander Phil Barnes, Bowl of Petunia, it's an ungodly hour for you. Siren Farseer, rapidly approaching an ungodly hour for you, I think, isn't it? Arian McDade, hello. Vast 3303, Wintermute, right? Can I get some parrots, please? Quiz Engine. do you want to parrot me in the chat? And Andrew Perslow is here and is also in a wing with me. You can hear me loud and clear. Thank you very much, Thorns. How are you, people? It's good to see you. It's good to see you. As is always the case, I haven't got anything seriously exciting lined up today because, let's be honest, it's all about the nattering, really, isn't it? All right, Seb, you're right, mate. Stan's here. Yeah, Stan is here. Those of you who would have seen up in the dance. uh, those of you who would have seen the chat earlier, we've had to do some serious Stan herding this morning. He was apparently sat in a muddy puddle outside the house, so I am going to turn the Stan cam on. I don't know what we'll get when I turn that. You might well get a muddy bum when I turn the Stan cam on. I understand he's had one of his toys put in his bed to encourage him to stay, and it's one of his catnip toys, and Stan gets absolutely whacked out when you give him catnip, so he might well be weirder than usual. Here we go, Stan cam. Oh, look at him, he's so oh dear, stupid cat. So there we go, there's Stan. Right then, claim parrot. Thank you, Yaga. 9 p.m. there. Oh, siren, honestly. How weird the world is. Right then. I don't know what I'm doing. I know I've got a bounty on this ship to get shot of, so I'm just going to do that real quick. And while I'm in Chuai, I will have a look and see what needs doing there. I think is probably the plan. I'm quite out for doing that typed in the wrong window, so that's good. I may have just put Chuai into Discord. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm quite out for doing, one of those, I want to call them assassination missions. I quite like those. I was doing a few of those the other day and I really enjoyed it. But let's go and have a look at Chuai and see what we've got. So what you doing in game at the moment, peeps? What has been your thing of late? The old Dark Wheel's getting quite exciting. Quiz Engine made mention of that. If you haven't been following the Dark Wheel and don't know what it is, I'm trying to think of a succinct way of explaining it for those of you who might not know. The biggest long-standing mystery in Elite Dangerous is this thing called Raxler. No one knows. Plenty of people will tell you what Raxler is. No one actually knows what Raxler is. We don't even know if it's a planet or a star or a thing, or literally no one knows really what Raxler is. There is a group called the Dark Wheel who we think have been searching for Raxler or know what Raxler is. I think they're probably truth seekers, aren't they? Someone dump into the chat if they know for definite who and what the Dark Wheel are. There's a minor faction in the game called the Dark Wheel, and we believe they are the Dark Wheel, so not terribly dark. And Kai Zen of the Elite Week Discord hatched a plan. I want to say about a year ago now. It feels like it was about a year ago. It might be longer. Excuse me. Hatched a plan to expand because they were only ever present in Shinrata, and then I think they popped outside of Shinrata without us doing anything. I want to say, but I could be wrong. And Kaizen hatched a plan to expand the influence of the Dark Wheel using the background simulation and just see where it's guided. So they're steering towards specific targets, but the plan is to see if you expand the influence of the Dark Wheel towards some permit locks, essentially, I think is plan one. So where we've got systems that are permit locked, but we don't know how to unlock the permit for that system, the plan is to kind of steer them towards those permit lock systems and see if a permit lock opens up. For all sorts of boring reasons I won't go into, it makes an awful lot of sense to me. I do think there is something waiting for us. I don't think it's Raxler by any stretch of the imagination, but I think it's the start of the Raxler thing. So this has been going on for about a year, a very concerted effort to drive the Dark Wheel towards a few interesting targets. The first of the interesting targets is the Sol system, just to see if they can expand into Sol. And there is a permit locked airless world in Sol, which is, I want to say, is it Triton? Someone tell me. It's one of the moons. Yeah, it's one of the moons of you'd think I would have done some research. I can have a look actually, can't I? Let's have a quick look. There's a permit locked moon, right, in Sol, which you might not know about, and there's no reason given for why there's a permit locked moon in Sol. And there doesn't seem to be, come on game, and there doesn't seem to be a permit lock that we can unlock anywhere that would give us access to it. There we go. So it's Triton around Neptune. Isn't that weird? Don't you think that's weird? Look at that. It's completely airless, I believe. No atmosphere. There you go. So there's no atmosphere. There's nothing terribly unusual about it that we can determine, and yet it's permit locked, and Frontier have not said why. So that in and of itself is a curiosity. Phil's telling me that the first target they reached was Lave, which was done. The second target is the Sol system, which is this stuff here. And the target after this is a place called LFT 509, which, if you haven't been following this, you might not have heard of. There's LFT 509. That is permit locked. It's very close to Sol, as you've just seen. It's even closer to Shinrata, I believe. There we go, which is there. So if I had my guess, I think the real clue to what Raxler is Triton. It might Raxler itself might even be Triton, or it might be on Triton. But I do think LFT 509. I've done a couple of videos about this, so I won't bore you with the specifics of why, but you'll find them on the main channel, on the Buur Pit channel. But I do think LFT 509, for reasons that are explained in that video, is where we will find the home port of the Dark Wheel. So I think I don't know why I decided to go with this morning. I didn't really. It was just a random thought, but it'll do. So I think the Dark Wheel is going to reach Sol, and right at the moment, nothing's going to happen when we get there. That's fully expected in this camp anyway. I think we'll expand to 509, and then we'll get a permit lock that will unlock 509, and then I think something will happen at 5:09 that will then allow us to unlock landing on Triton. That's my feeling. Um, there is Quiz Engine. There is a whole thing about a Mars artifact. I won't attempt to regurgitate my understanding of it here because it'll just be a complete car crash. But I know from the little that I have read of Raxler is that it it's very probably close to Earth. Whatever it is we're looking for is close to Sol because of when it was first discovered and the travel times that were available to the human race at that time in terms of interstellar distances were quite small. So whatever it is quite close to Sol. An alien artifact was found in Elite Lore um, on Mars, so it may well be wrapped up with all of that. No one knows anything more about that alien artifact other than it was discovered, and it's about the size of a baby, I think, which is like a weird description, but that's what's in the lore. Thank you, Jagger. Is that the Dark Wheel stuff? That thread there. So yeah, it's interesting times. It's like I say, this has been going on for a long, long time. All this stuff is um way back ooh, in Elite Lore, so back sort of as far as 1984 is where all this originally sprang from. And morning, Stu. Hello, Tragic Blue. How are you? Yeah, and it's been running that long. The the effort to unlock the Dark Wheel in Elite Dangerous, I believe. If anybody knows any different, please do tell me. But I think it's been running for about a year. I don't know where the spark in Kai's brain came from. I think it was in discussions with the guys at the Loose Screws podcast. I believe it came out of a number of discussions from there. That's where it was born from. So I think the plan at Frontier was, this is just conjectural now, but the plan I think at Frontier was that we would find the Dark Wheel curious and that we'd learn about the BGS and we'd expand the Dark Wheel's influence and we'd unlock all this accidentally, or that wasn't the case, or I don't think it happened perhaps as quick maybe as Frontier had hoped. I don't know. The important thing is that it's happened. And it's now it's reaching the I believe it's reaching a pinnacle point. I do solemnly, but I'm quite happy to eat my hat. I'm not going to eat a hat, but I am quite happy to metaphorically eat a hat if this turns out to be not true. But we've been told that Raxler is in the game, whatever Raxler is, or certainly, yeah, I don't know. I'm guessing now, but interesting stuff though. So if you weren't aware of all that, it is worth keeping an eye on because I do think something's going to happen. Something I feel like I feel like what's it? I was going to say Keir Starmer, Kildalla in 2010. Something's going to happen. Something wonderful. If you don't get that reference, that wasn't even remotely funny. Should we go and do that? Let's go and do that. See what we get. And let's go and do that one as well. So, was anybody not aware of all this Dark Wheel stuff? Is what I've just said complete revelation to anyone? I'm just curious. I know there's an awful lot goes on in Elite that a huge amount of people don't ever get exposed to. Stu saying it's a jump gate. Yeah, I've heard that theory bandied around a lot. No idea where we're going or what we're doing. Yeah, I've heard. Oh, why didn't I do that one? Oh hell, that's a pain. Yeah, I've heard the jump gate, Stargate theory bandied around quite a lot. Galaxy map, and also you will read regurgitated in various places. You will read that someone once flew into Raxler and flew out again. That story is complete rubbish. Sorry, but it is. You'll see that story regurgitated all over the place, and people will tell you that that's happened, but in actual fact, they're quoting the last person they saw that quoted that, and the last person that quoted that, and there isn't actually, because I've looked for it, and I know Drew Wager has looked for it as well. There is not an original source for that story that comes from Frontier, so that is complete nonsense. Okay, not me, Mr. Knows from listening to Kai's interview with Mal and Psychic. Quiz engine, the door that is also a key. Yeah, that's one of the clues to Raxler, isn't it? Isn't that right? It's one of the descriptions, I believe. Do you know what? It's interesting you say that. Not me, Mister. I was gonna comment on that this morning. So if you haven't seen it, YouTube's doing this thing at the moment, or they've been doing it for like 6 months, and we've just finally gone, oh, okay, we'll give it a go. Which is YouTube Shorts, right? Which are like video short. It's exactly what it sounds like. It's videos on YouTube that are very, very short. They're going after the sort of TikTok kind of. They're going after the sort of TikTok market. And if you're a YouTuber at the moment and you follow any other YouTubers and because there are plenty of YouTubers out there that talk about YouTubing, right, and teach you how to do it and what you need to be doing and all that stuff. I wasn't concentrating at all then and was trying to get to the star. That was weird. So if you follow any of those people, all of them at the moment are saying you need to do YouTube Shorts. That's the current meta, right, for YouTubers. You need to be doing these little short videos. Now, I understand that we need to be doing those things and that it will help bring views to the channel in some regard and all that kind of thing, but I'm not gonna do that stuff. We had long discussions about that here, and we're not gonna do that stuff unless there's some value to it. So we did one yesterday that was kind of got value, but it was more as a test really than anything else, just to see how frankly you guys would react to it, and how we felt about doing it, and what the process was. Hello, Swoops. What the process was, just to kind of see what the whole experience was like. That video actually actually did really, really well, which is odd. It was literally 30 seconds long, and it was me on camera. And because I'm not going to do like a 30-second or a minute video and put loads and loads of production and time into it, because it's just not worth our time or your time. So we got this video out. We did something meaningful, but got it out as quickly as we could, kind of thing. And loads of people commented on the fact that I wasn't wearing a scarf. Right now, I do wear a scarf a lot. This isn't a. You'll note I've got a scarf on at the moment. This isn't an affectation. This isn't like, oh, I must have my scarf on. That I wear a scarf almost all the time. I wear a scarf constantly. I don't like my neck being cold, and I like having a scarf on. I don't know. It'll be the middle of summer. We'll be sitting in the garden, and I'll have one of these scarves on, or a different scarf. I've got a collection. So I'm just a scarf freak. I don't know why. I just feel more comfortable wearing a scarf. But it isn't obviously all the time. And yesterday I didn't have a scarf to hand. We shot the video. It didn't even occur to me. But loads of people commented that I didn't have a scarf on. So I will make considerable effort next time to wear a scarf. I'm sorry if it upset you. if an unbridled view of my Adam's apple was too distressing for you. I'm sorry about that. I will make every effort to conceal my Adam's apple from you for future videos. All sorts of people being sick into their cereal, going, I could see the side of his neck. It was awful. It shows you take notice, Winspew. That's very true. I just hit the like button simply because of the stand cam. Tragic, whatever it takes, mate. Whatever it takes, honestly. Thank you very much for that. I know it's a silly little thing, clicking the little like button, but it makes a huge difference to us. It makes a huge difference to the way YouTube views us. And I know we always get 3 very specific thumbs down, and we're pretty certain we know who they are as well, which is quite funny. But YouTube likes that as well. It just wants interaction. So when we get please don't hit thumbs down, but When we get a thumbs down, YouTube doesn't care, it's interactions. So it's all good, really. But yeah, if you want, oh, look at the thumbs going up. That's brilliant. You lot are lovely. Thank you very much, people. So yes, if you come here because of the cat and you like it because of the cat, that's okay. I've got a thumbs down. No, no, I don't like him. No, I still had to watch the video and watch an advert, which means it got monetized, but I don't like him. So yes, I'm glad you're here for. If you're here for the stand, that's okay. That's okay. I can take that. Hello, redneck. It's early morning. What time is it where you are, mate? And what's your weather doing? I always find it fascinating. What a world we live in. Can you believe it? I was born in a world where the internet didn't exist. Extraordinary. Here we go. Did I pick up any? I didn't pick up limpets, did I? Did I pick? Oh, I did pick up No, I did pick up limpets. Yeah, I did. Oh, Mazda, that's very sweet of you. Thank you, mate. That's really nice of you. Did you like? Did you guys like? And be careful what you say because Alzo's in the chat. But did you like? Did you like the Alzo video the collaboration that we did during the week? I don't mind telling you, we loved that video. It was great fun. As I've said on here before, some of the stuff we do, because it's useful and it's informational to you, and we kind of, it's what we do, so we have to. I don't mean that in a bad way, but we have, we always do Witch Space on Fridays because that's what we do on Fridays. Some stuff we do when Frontier sort of, does a big info dump and you guys need to know about it, and, want some commentary on it, we do that. Some stuff we do just because we want to. So like all the music videos and stuff like that you might see from us, that stuff does not get views. Like if you put up a music video, people do not click on it. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. I get that. There's no reason you should watch a video just because we put it up. It's got to be something you want to watch. I get that. I'm exactly the same. I consume a hell of a lot of YouTube, and I only watch the stuff that I want to watch. So that's no problem. But yeah, whenever you see a music video, slow down. Whenever you see a music video, that's basically because we wanted to, is why we did that. I'm expecting bad guys to jump in. I'll probably be okay, but I'm just being super cautious, just in case. Just in case we get what I like to call some local colour. Bring me those beautiful black boxes. Fly, my minions, fly. So yeah, the Alzo video, we absolutely loved doing that. Really, really enjoyed it. That's the good stuff. We really enjoy that stuff. Incoming mission critical message. Oh, there you go. Alzo's got a new track coming out tomorrow. Awesome. Yeah, do look at Alzo on Bandcamp as well, because he's kind of starting to populate that as a platform now. And I've heard some of his other stuff that perhaps he hasn't released publicly yet, and it is awesome. Why have I got illicit cargo? Is it just the... Yeah, it's the black boxes. Okay. It is awesome. It really is good. So give him a follow. Hello, Bandy. How are you, mate? I missed you. I hope you're all right. Oh, Siren, you bought the music. That's awesome, my love. That's fantastic. It's such a tune, isn't it? We've outside of doing the video, I think we must have listened to it 40, 50 times over the space of sort of 3 or 4 days. It was ridiculous. We had it played in the car and everything. It was gorgeous. Just what we needed at the moment. Really nice. What the hell am I doing? There we go. Now then, I've got more to pick up. Is one of them in Tawanta? That's interesting. Is it in Tawanta? I did not realise that. That one's done. That one. It's in Tawanta. Brilliant. We're going home, people. Frameshift drive charging. I've got illicit cargo, so it may well be that Tawanta gets angry with me, but good news, Bandy. Good news. I'll try and talk to you later if I can, mate. 4, 3, 2, 1. Elvis Kremen. Yes, mate. Yes. You need to... Oh, my God. Wasn't my mum. I was living in my own house at that point, but yeah, you needed to use the phone. You couldn't use the phone and the internet at the same time, which just seems just ridiculous now, doesn't it? But the internet and the phone used to go down the same line, so you couldn't use them both at the same time, which is which if you tell that to young people today, they won't believe you. But it's true. That's the world we grew up in. It was ridiculous, and the speed, my God, the speed was appalling. Right, where am I going? I'm going round there. Of course it's on the other side of the sun. Of course it is. Here we go. Warning, temperature critical. Carefully avoiding this colossal star. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. It's really funny actually. We got very different comments. There we go. There's today's first victory lap. You're welcome. We got very different comments on that video um, than we would on or than we have done on any other musicy beautiful shot video kind of thing that we've done before. And I think part of that was undoubtedly the music, which was lovely, and I think part of it was also um, the moon landing sound clips and stuff that we used. So long story short, every video we make now is going to have Kennedy at the start. So that's I wish. I do love that speech, honestly. It proper wells me up, that speech. It's quite extraordinary. I'm going to get some colour, aren't I, as soon as... There we go, right. Let's get the hell out of here. 4, 3, 2, 1. But yeah, we really enjoyed that stuff. As soon as it was really weird how it came about as well. It's not like sort of Alzo came to us and said, use my music in a video, thanks. We happened to be listening. He put a video up of the music, which we watched on a sort of live premiere, and then we were listening to it again afterwards, because obviously it's amazing. We were listening to it again afterwards, and Ree happened to be sifting some footage while I had this music out in the room, and kind of went and said to me, "It really works with the footage. It really works." So we had a quick chat and sort of said, "Well, shall we approach him about videoizing it?" Which is kind of how it happened. And then once we'd started to put footage to it, we kind of need I don't know. There wasn't a tangent, because the music wasn't about anything specifically or anything like that. It wasn't written specifically for Elite, or it wasn't about anything. So it was kind of, well, how do we kind of turn it into it? You kind of need a thread or a hook or a for want of a better expression, a story kind of thing. So I sort of said to Real, how I don't know, I kind of feel like it needs some speech in there, or some quotes. And we talked about Carl Sagan and Stephen Hawking. We weren't sure if we'd be able to use those voice clips, whether they sort of had rights attached to them or anything like that. And because I love the sort of Kennedy speech, the we choose to go to the moon, that speech. As I love that, I pitched that and sort of said, well, how about if we do that? And then I dragged in a load of the really famous stuff from Apollo 11 and tried it out, and what do you know? And that's how it happened. Laban Dent, I started with an acoustic modem. Yeah, me as well, like 3600, I want to say, and then didn't it go to 14.4, and then 33,600, something, I want to say. All sorts of numbers. They used to get progressively faster, didn't they? And every time you got like a new modem speed, you used to think, oh wow, this is amazing. This acoustic modem is so much better than last year's acoustic modem. used to think the speed was, I downloaded a megabyte file and it only took 4 hours. It's ridiculous. And then I ended up, because the company that I was working for at the time, I ended up with ISDN lines, if you remember those, into my house, which was a revelation. So I ended up being able, not only was my internet fast, um, but yeah, K56, there you go. Wow. Yeah, not only was my internet fast, but I could use the phone at the same time, which was the first. I know this is ridiculous. I know I sound like an old man now because I am, but that was the first iteration of playing a video game and talking to someone at the, what we take for granted now, the kind of voice over IP and all that kind of thing. The first time I ever did that, I had a speakerphone dialed to my mate, and I was on my work ISDN line, and we were playing, it was probably something like Quake or Tribes, or something like that. Used to play an awful lot of Capture the Flag, Quake Capture the Flag. So it would have been that. So we would have been on voice comms on the phone and mad. Oh, that's very sweet of you, Kevin. Thank you, mate. Thank you. We certainly enjoyed it, so we'll take that. CompuServe, oh my god. Hello, Barney. Yeah, we're not on any shifts at the moment, mate. We're still in lockdown at the moment, as a nation, but also as a family. We've been about as isolated as it's possible to be for more weeks than I can remember. It's been quite challenging, quite challenging. We're shielding for all sorts of complicated reasons that I won't bore you with. But we are coming to the end of it. The Shield-E has had their first injection. We think myself and Ree will probably get ours in the next month or so, possibly 2 months, and we're probably going to go back to work around the 1st of April, we think. So at the moment, there are no shifts. We're not doing any shifts at the moment, which isn't anywhere near as fun as you might think it is. It's not. We basically haven't seen anyone. We've had a couple of chats with our neighbour outside the front door, and we've obviously, when we go to get food and stuff like that, we have a very brief conversation with whoever's working in the shop or whatever. But other than that, which is a situation for a lot of people, I'm not whinging. Mazda, how am I getting my shot before Burr? Don't know, mate. Is it a tranquilizer shot? Are you an elephant or something? Do you live in a zoo? Let's start with the basics. Here we go. Here we go.
Programming limpet drone. Programming limpet drone. Programming limpet drone. Collector limpet expired. Limpet drone error. Deploy cargo hatch. Cargo scoop deployed.
Come on, Limpors. You've got this. I feel like these things need a bit more range on them. I get why they haven't, gameplay mechanics and all that. Or I could do with engineering my Limpors to have a shed ton more range. Mazda, you are a right animal. We have heard that, Mazda. Yeah, there is a website. Oh, Kevin, that's really sweet of you. Thank you. Barney O'Mulligan, you got friends and family in London that have already been punctured. Might be an age thing, Barney. I don't know. Are they older than me? If they've got sort of 5 or 10 years on me and Ree, then they might well have been punctured already. That might be it. Or if they've got asthma and stuff like that, I believe quite rightly those people are being prioritised. So that could be part of it.
Cannot comply. Cargo scoop retracted.
Let's get the hell out of here. Okay. Right, so we're going back to Chuai, aren't we, I think? Which is there. And there. And then there.
Frameshift drive charging.
It's a weird game, isn't it, Elite? I do get why some people get frustrated with it. But it's kind of like
Four,
there isn't an
three,
end goal
two,
as such,
one.
um,
Engage.
which is not that unusual in games these days, particularly where you've got sort of game running as a service. But also it's not like a traditional MMO where you kind of, the whole point of the early part of the game is to get to the point where you've got enough armor to kill the big bad boss. And I don't I know you can go after the Thargoids, but that's a slightly different thing, really. I don't think the Thargoids are the end game. They are something you can do when you kind of reach that point, I suppose, but not necessarily the end game. I don't think Elite doesn't really have one. I often say that Elite for me is very, very similar to Microsoft Flight Simulator, because the thing that's fun for me about Elite is being in this universe and doing all the things. It's not about reaching a goal or getting to the end or anything like that. I haven't got a specific goal with Elite at the moment. It's just about existing in this universe and doing stuff. I like flying a spaceship, and when I play Microsoft Flight Simulator, I haven't got, it's not like I'm leveling up to get a 747 or anything like that. You get that right out the gate. It's just I just like flying an aeroplane, and Elite's no different. But I think a lot of people come into Elite maybe with an expectation, and that's not their fault. That's Elite's fault, because Frontier are rubbish at signposting this stuff. Love them. Yeah, it's Star Wars. Go on, be alright. It isn't. There isn't a Death Star. All right, there you go. It's one of the things I like about Elite is the fact that there isn't really a tutorial to teach you how to play the game. I know there are tutorials, but come on, let's be honest, they're not enough, are they? That's one of the things I really like about the game, the fact that you have to go and learn it, and you have to sort of have a bit of patience with it. But I suppose the other interesting thing is though, if it was any other game, if it was any other universe, I'd get really frustrated with it really quickly and probably not bother. There are games that do a superb job of teaching you how to play, and they have great mechanics and stuff, but they don't bring me back, and they have never brought me back like Elite has. But I suppose I've got one of those minds that quite likes that open-ended nature. Um, in when I played World of Warcraft, I was never interested in getting to the raids and the dungeons at the end of the game. That I literally had no interest in that whatsoever. I only ever did them when I had to, which wasn't very often. I just liked existing in that world and running around doing all the things and looking at all the stuff.
Docking successful. Engines
I'm a
disengaged.
sim freak, I think, at the end of the day. I like simulations. The handy thing about handing these missions in here is, oh, I'll have them. Is that after you've gone and done all this appalling illegal stuff, you can then have a word with interstellar factors, who will conveniently get rid of your. Oh, okay. I thought I would have got it. I suppose I didn't, because I was doing a mission, didn't I? Okay, ignore everything I just said there, along with everything else I ever say. Well, Brian, perhaps Raxler is a Death Star. That would be a shock, wouldn't it? if we unlock Triton and like the outer shell shatters and comes off, and then there's a great big gun pointing at the Earth, and it's like, oh, that might have been a mistake. Did I try Frontier Pilot Simulator? I did. I did try it. And I wanted to like it, but I found it too hard. But I did want to like it. Yeah, I did want to like it. I did do a video about it ages and ages ago, because they were kind enough to send me a copy. But I don't really like taking games off of developers if I know I'm not really gonna do anything with it. I thought there was a chance that I might do with that, so I succumbed. But it wasn't. Yeah, but it's. I can see Frontier Pilot Simulator and where it's. I can see that it's good. I can see where it is good. And I think if I wasn't so deeply invested in Elite and YouTube, and which takes up most of our time. Let's kill some people. I think, yeah, if I wasn't so deeply invested in it, then I would. I can see that being the sort of thing I'd get into, because it is just a case of um, existing in that world and doing all the things that it gives you. If you're kind of looking for a nice, it's worth looking at, by the way, people, if you haven't looked at it. Frontier Pilot Simulator. It's nothing to do with Elite, despite the Frontier name on it. But it's quite a very complex flight model for a sort of sci-fi vertical takeoff and landing transport aircraft on an alien planet. We've got some impending violence, Andrew, if you're up for it, mate. In a very complex flight model in a sort of sci-fi world where you basically run freight and passengers and upgrade your ship, and in a moderately limited space, not space, but on a planet. But it's a very complex flight model, but all the better for it. But I just haven't got the time. I wanted to like it more than I did. If I wasn't doing this rubbish, I think I would probably be into it. So did any of you Breakfuurst Club? God no. Did any of you watch the Frontier Super Cruise News live stream on Tuesday? We did a breakdown video of everything that got said in there, because obviously on the Tuesday live streams it's just a lunchtime kickabout basically, and they don't normally release information. But Arthur was on there, and it was a bit more off the cuff than usual. I'm going to try and wait till Andrew gets here before I do anything rash. Oh, I need a beacon, won't I? Yeah, we did a breakdown video, but I'm just curious to see if anybody actually watched the live stream itself, because obviously, one of the issues we have when working with Frontier is trying to interpret what they're saying, or what you think they've got going on from what they're saying, if you see what I mean. Because here we go. So like the reason I'm saying it is that they didn't explicitly state that there was 2 videos in the works. I'm trying to submit. Look, I'm doing the submit thing. Hello? I'll just lose it. Hang on a second. Okay, that's broken. Oh dear. Okay. I'll tell you what, how can I get this guy to, if I drop into normal space, do we think he'll come with me? Right, I'm submitting. There we go. We think that they've got 2 videos in the works at the moment. Hello, Andrew. I'm so pleased to see you. Believe you me. We think they've got 2 videos in the works at the moment. And we think, and this is just guessing from what we think they said, what we think Arthur said. We think there's a gameplay video in the works. We think that video is of a heist on foot. That stuff, if you see what I mean. If you know from the comments that they've made before, there's a sort of heist gameplay you can do. So we think that's what they've been filming. And we also think that there's another dev diary coming. And again, if we've interpreted what they're saying correctly, which is entirely There's an entire possibility that we haven't. We've got it completely wide of the mark. If we've heard it correctly, we think the heist video is currently planned for the beginning of March-ish. Current working situations notwithstanding, which can't be easy for them at the moment. And we think there's a dev diary coming as well, but we don't know when that is. I'm going to be brutally honest with you, boys and girls. Not that excited about the dev diary these days. The ones so far, they've been okay. But I think from the yes, thank you, Andrew. I think people were sort of expecting. Certainly, I was expecting from those dev diaries lots of gameplay reveals and lots of kind of like gorgeous little details on things that we'll be doing in Elite, Odyssey, and lots of little secrets and stuff like that. And that hasn't really happened. I found the dev diaries to be a little bit, dare I say it, uninspiring so far. They're okay, do you know what I mean? But they're only okay. And there's the stuff that I want to see, and I think a degree of the rest of the community would like to see is just solid gameplay. You just want to see, what am I actually going to be doing? Because we've seen people running around and shooting, and it's like, yep, I get that. I know we can run around and shoot, but like, give me some context for that and show me the tools that we'll be using and all that kind of gubbins. So I'll wait till we're done scooping, Andrew. So if we've interpreted that correctly, and there are 2 videos in the works, one being a dev diary, one being a gameplay reveal. Dev diary, yep, cool. We're curious to see what they come up with. That's great, but I'm not super excited. But if there is genuinely a gameplay video coming up that's just, I don't know about you lot, but I'd like to see 10 minutes of just people playing. That would absolutely boil my noggin. That would be brilliant. Are you done, buddy? Let me just check and see what's going on with your limps. Yeah, we're done. Okay, mate, here we go. I think we're going to Tawanta now. I didn't look. But I don't know about you lot. What's your feeling? Sorry, I know I'm rambling here, but what's your feeling? I just want to see gameplay now. I just want to see... Oh, wow. We've got a... Is that a... Oh, no, it's a completed one. Okay, ignore me. Yeah, I just want to see gameplay now. I just want to... Just show us the damn thing. Honestly. Show me the damn game. We have cried out loud. Did I see that? Do you know what? I'm not paying attention at all. I think we're going to Tawanta. I really should check because there's... hang on. Assassinate. Did that. Okay. Definitely going to Tawanta. Which I'm going to say is there. But what's your feeling, children? Did you see the live stream rather than our interpretation of what we thought we saw on the live stream? And what was your feeling? Did you get the impression there were 2 videos, or am I spectacularly wide of the mark? Okay, Phil Barnes, you feel the same about the dev diaries. Yeah, don't get me wrong, I'm not ungrateful for the dev diaries. They're interesting. I do find them fascinating. But I think like if you remember that interview that Arthur did with one of the developers, where it was just the 2 of them on a call, and Art was throwing questions at him. I can't remember your name, mate. I'm really sorry about that. But the information flow backwards and forwards there told us more about Odyssey, and the sort, the vibe that you could expect from it than anything else that we'd seen from Frontier so far. And it didn't require... See, I suppose I look at this with slightly different eyes as well now, because it didn't require huge production values or enormous cost in terms of time to produce that video at all. It was very easy to produce, really, because if you're doing, particularly if you're doing something at the level of Frontier, producing all that footage and getting it past all the people that need to look at it first and go, yes, that's okay, you can show that, or that's not high enough quality or whatever. That stuff takes weeks and weeks and weeks at Frontier's level. It's bad enough for us. Concentrate, Burr. You're cooking the ship, for the love of all things holy. Oh hell. Yeah, it's bad enough for us when we sort of, we'll sit there and review. Aree spends hours and hours and hours just reviewing footage and deciding whether it's good enough to show or not. So you can imagine from Frontier's perspective, they have to pitch that at a much higher level. Um, so just in terms of manpower cost and production time versus the bang for the buck that they were getting, that interview that Arthur did with the developer was absolute gold. Absolute gold. That was, I think, of all the Frontier, of all the Odyssey stuff we've seen so far, really, for us at least, that I think probably had the most, certainly had the most information and the most value. Who's that person there? He looks quite pleased to see me and he was turning towards me. Okay. I'm going to assume that wasn't the target for the moment, but we might well get interdicted. But we'll do the scanny thing anyway. He definitely seems curious, doesn't he? Is that him? No, it isn't. Okay. So, but are we wide of the mark there? Did we misinterpret what was being said there?
Incoming mission critical
I wonder why they
message.
can't
Frameshift
come
drive
out and just
charging.
say, yeah, we're working on
4,
this and we're working on that.
3,
In terms of
2,
assets, in terms of videos and
1.
stuff. Why they can't just say,
Engage. Warning.
oh, here we go,
Temperature critical.
here we go. Spacey Jones would like it known. Fate has brought us together. Um. All right, swoops. Is that where my? Oh, that's a delivery, isn't it? I want to say. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Swoops, we're going this here way. It's a good 300,000 light seconds, mate. I hope you brought sandwiches. Unless I get interdicted. Let's hope I get interdicted. If I see Spacey Jones before we get there, I'll slow down. Okay, Venota's saying at this point don't care about demo clips. We've been teased enough. Waiting on the alpha. I mean, don't get me wrong, mate. If they want to dump the alpha tomorrow, I'm there. Absolutely. Um, in lieu of that, I really, really want to see gameplay. Hello, Orange Phoenix. You all right, mate? Okay, interesting. Giving up on Frontier's efforts to show us Odyssey due to yeah, I don't know what the reason is there. I mean, Frontiers, or is kind of renowned a bit for being a bit backward in coming forward. Um, that I'm guessing that's a company policy at this point. It seems so prevalent throughout everything they do that certainly on the elite side anyway, they just don't like talking about it until the last minute. Weird, but okay. Um, like I say, in lieu of actually playing the thing, I'll take a gameplay video, but I'm not so much interested in developer diaries where they're doing sound bites at the camera. Um, that it's vaguely interesting, that stuff, but I think at this point we really need to see who the hell am I? But I want to see gameplay footage and just get some solid details. But obviously, I'd agree with you there, mate. I know it's often a tough sell to gamers, but COVID has put the mockers on everything, really. You just think how easy it is when you're working next to someone, or you're in the same office as someone, and you can just turn to them and go, "Can I have it with the thing and the there?" Oh yeah, okay. Well, if you just do that now, then brilliant. Okay. Or you can just wander over the other side of the office and go, "Your has got and I can," but they can't do that now. The whole bleeding team is is completely distributed and isolated. And in order to get someone's attention, you've got to pick up the phone, or you've got to hit them up on Discord, or just stuff like it. Just introduces a myriad of delays into the simplest little thing. It must be so frustrating. If if one of the reasons Ree and I are able to produce, I'm going to sound really big-headed now, but the quality of the work that we do, we're kind of unique in some of the stuff that we do. One of the reasons we're able to do it at the level that we are is because we sit right next to each other. So, when we're filming, I'll be it isn't just a case of I fly and Ree just does something arty with the camera outside. Obviously there's a lot of that going on, but there's also like how about if I go this way, or how's the lighting, or sometimes even she'll stream what she's seeing to my so we'll be in a Discord channel together and she'll stream what she's seeing and what she's filming so that I can fly the ship in a sympathetic way to what she's trying to do. So literally I'll be going like that and then kind of, do you know what I mean? So if we couldn't if we weren't next to each other, the little conversation, the real snippets of conversation that we have about, well, how about if I go here and fly this, or she'll go, okay, I'm going to put my camera here and then you fly over the top. That stuff don't happen by accident. And if we weren't sitting next to each other, it would introduce a delay, or it would just make it so much more difficult. And if you just imagine that those little delays dropped into a project like Odyssey and then replicated 150 times or 200 times or however many people they've got working on it, it must just be a nightmare, absolute nightmare. I'd hate it. I mean, honestly, it must be so frustrating. Spookster, I think when they just do off the cuff, so to speak, with the actual devs, you get more info and a closer look at what's real. Yeah, they're still thinking about what they can say, but it's more like being down the pub. Yeah, I agree, mate, completely. Yeah, yeah. And I do understand that they don't want to, because I'm sure they've got a window for when they're going to release Odyssey at the moment, but it is a window. And let's be honest, boys and girls, particularly in the world that we live in at the moment, that window could well get smashed and pushed to the other end of the year. I don't think that's going to happen, but it could. Yaga, I'll come on to that comment in a second, mate. Yeah, it could absolutely get pushed back. So I understand that they don't want to just get all their cards, go, yeah, the game's coming out on Tuesday, throw them all out in front of us and go, that's everything. There you go. We'll get all really excited, and then all of a sudden Tuesday becomes 6 months on Tuesday. I absolutely, I'm not unsympathetic to that at all. It must be a very difficult balancing act, and when you're dealing with a community that's as passionate as the elite community is, and let's be honest, we are quite fervent in our passion. Um, it must be quite challenging. It must be very challenging to know how much to talk about. And so on the subject of Arthur, I think he's an absolute legend. I'm not crawling up Frontier's bum or any of that stuff. I'm not interested in that crap. Um, but Arthur he's a very personable. It's a bald thing. Let's be honest. We've got to stick together. No, he's a very personable bloke. All the dealings I've had with him, he's been nothing but pleasant. Not that the others haven't at all. I mean, I have a real soft spot for Will. If you were around for the Will Flanagan years, Will is is just adorable, an adorable, lovely, lovely bloke. Um, Arthur, I think, is trying to. Arthur's quite a strong character. And I think he's trying to get Frontier to. I can't tell you this like I know or anything like that. I'm just guessing from the dealings that I've had with him, but I get the impression that he's trying to just pull the doors of Frontier open a little bit and try and get a bit more information out of them. So I think as far as Elite's concerned and as far as the community is concerned, he's been a real bonus, and I'm glad he's where he is at the moment, and he can't ever leave because we'll find him. Do you hear me? Um, and I'm not saying the rest of the CM team aren't lovely as well, because they are. They're really funny. They're really poor Garrido as well. Just Garrido's so he seems so sort of polite and nice and everything, and he just gets such a hard time. It's because of it, which makes me laugh. Okay, not me, Mister. You were disappointed by the comments about lighting. Do we know for definite? I must have missed that one. Do we know for definite that multi-point, multi-source? So you're talking about stellar lighting, right? So when we've got two star systems, I take it you're talking specifically about that. You don't want to have multi-source lighting because of system requirements. I would be very surprised if that wasn't a slider, honestly. To be honest, mate, because and also you've got to bear in mind, although you might look at Odyssey and think, Jesus Christ, that looks amazing. There's no way I'm going to be able to run that on my PC. And believe you me, those were my initial worries when I looked at it, because my PC's getting a bit potatoey. But what you got to bear in mind is that graphic fidelity has got to run on a PlayStation 4 or an Xbox, whatever the hell the Xbox is called. So I sound like such an old man when I say that. I don't know, but I know I've said this before. I genuinely don't know what all the Xboxes are called. I'm really sorry. So that level of graphic fidelity has got to run on those machines, and those machines obviously can't be upgraded. So don't. Hello, Tyvin. You're right, buddy. So don't. I wouldn't worry too much that your PC's not going to be able to run Odyssey, because it's basically got to be. I think as well, and I'm quoting off the top of my head here, so I might be talking complete arse. But if you look at the system specs for Odyssey on Steam, I think they're on there at the moment. But if you look on there, I think you'll find that they're basically the same. I think. I don't know, but duh, 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 duh. I love the sorry, just on the with the current CM team. I know there's mixed opinions on it, but I do like the Anchorman stuff that they do, the spoof things. You wouldn't want to see it every single week, but when they do roll it out, and the way the way Stephen, bless his heart, sends himself up, absolute kudos to you, mate. That takes some nuts to show people your shower. Yeah, not me, Mr. C. You're talking about the multiple light sources as well. You don't think they're doing it due to the complexity of them doing it? I mean, I'm sure they could, but it's just a case of whether the hardware could handle it or not. I would imagine. I don't know, but if Frontier decided they wanted to do multi-source lighting, I'm sure they could. But okay, so Seasick, you're fairly certain you've heard the statement that there's no multi-source lighting. I can't remember that, honestly, personally, mate. I'm not doubting you, but okay, Andrew, you're running a 6-year-old laptop. Yeah, this is the thing, isn't it? They've got to make sure it runs on a PlayStation 4. So yeah, not me, mister. That's entirely possible. May have cut it due to the impacts of working from home. Entirely possible. Whoa, loop of shame. Look at that. How's that for a save? Sorry about the long walk, Andrew. Appreciate your support, mate. I'm sure I probably would have been fine, but let's be honest, I'm an idiot. It's going to be a loop of shame anyway, look. Victory lap is what this is. I need to check the other side of this system, of this signal source, just to make sure that it's as clean as the side that I'm approaching. That's what that is. It's the thing, when you have to do a 3-point turn in this game, it's like, millions of kilometers. Not entirely different to the way my mum used to drive. Bing, 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 bing. Come on, come on, come on. It is funny when we've had to explain to Ree's family in particular what it is we do with the YouTubes, and it gets onto like, we play a game called Elite and then make videos about it. Oh, hello, love. Jesus. Oh Christ, there's loads of them. Oh god, I hope these people are being robbed and they're not the robbies. Spacey Jones. There he is. Let's just pay some particular attention to your frame shift drive just in case. Did I deploy? No, I didn't. Possibly foolhardy way. In 3, 2, 1. Good night, Vienna. Yeah, when we have to explain to family, we've had this conversation with Ree's family a couple of times about what it is we do. Like we play a game, and then make videos about it, and then people who also like the game watch those videos. Bearing in mind, they're about sort of 70, 75 years old. So this is all a bit alien to them, to say the least. And I then go, okay, that's unusual, but all right, if that's what works, then fine. And then it's like, what's the game then? Well, you fly a spaceship and you buy things and sell them to space stations in other star systems, and sometimes there are pirates. And right, and what's the aim of the game? You fly spaceships and you can deliver poo sometimes if you want to. That's how do you explain it to people who don't do this stuff? I mean, they're struggling enough with the making videos about a video game, and reporting news on it as well. Like the whole concept's completely alien to them. Oh, don't you dare run! Don't you dare run! He's gonna run, isn't he? Did I kill him? Yeah. Nice. Thanks, Swoops. There's no way I would have got that. He was a tough cookie. Is there any... Oh, yeah. Employee number 1 has gone. Employee number 2 has also gone.
Cargo scoop deployed.
There we go. I'll let them do their stuff. Alzo, it's dance time, monkey dance. Oh, God. Really? Okay. There you go. For those of you who don't know what that is, Alzo is apparently on a work call and can't hear the stream, so I have to occasionally dance because he was kind enough to give us some music. And now I've got to watch that happen on the playback, which is on my right-hand screen here, coming up in about 5 seconds. There it is. Oh, that's unpleasant. Oh, Christ. What have I become? Oh, yeah, the Great Beige Plague. I remember that. Oh, my God. That was weird, wasn't it? Honestly. Van Otter, the answer should be we trade in slaves and narcotics. Yeah, I think if we did that, they probably wouldn't talk to us anymore. So, and they'd have right on their side. Explain Thargoints to parents is hard. I suppose it can be light woven. Yeah, I suppose it could be. I suppose they'll understand aggressive aliens. Just go, yeah, Daleks. Let's say. Tactical scouting, says Old Grey Redneck. There you go. I like that. Yeah, absolutely. I find who mentioned Psychic, the lovely Psychic. It's like watching Elvis. Yeah, all the best streamers loop. I believe. I believe that's how it works. So who are these people then? Are these victims? Oh, they're Protectorate. Look, of course they are. We're in Toanta, aren't we? I suppose. Oh, is that Spacey Jones? Oh, he's here again. He's respawned. Let's kill him again.
Cargo scoop retracted.
Brilliant. Okay. And go.
Collector limpet expired. Under attack.
I love it. Our AI has respawned. Get 2 cracks on the whip. Spacey Jones. If we have our way, mate, you're going to be Spaced Jones. Come on, come on, come on.
Under attack.
He doesn't like Andrew, does he? He's ignoring me, which is quite good. Really doesn't like Andrew. Okay, his frame shift drive is dead now, so that's okay. That's good. So we won't get the slight panic that we had before, thinking he was going to get away.
Collector limpet expired.
Nearly toast. There we go.
Under attack.
Bye bye, love. Thanks for playing.
Programming limpet drone. Cargo scoop deployed.
Nice. That was fun. Oh, Aki, you're kidding. You got your 70-year-old dad into elite. Pretty sure your mum isn't talking to you. She knew the risks. It's fine. That's what happens when you have a son. That is awesome. That's brilliant. So how long has he been playing now, Aki? Has he been playing a while, or is this a recent thing, or and is it his first video game, or is he a gamer anyway? Brian, the look on your brother-in-law's face when you were telling how cool it was getting to Sad J. Had to bust out the old great time to be a fake astronaut line. Well, you just kind of sitting there going, are they sort of like, and phoning social services while you're talking to them? Old grey redneck. Old grey redneck. Let me stop you right there. You're thinking of investing in it. Do I think it's worth it? Yes, I think it's worth it. I can't stand flying without it. If that unit broke tomorrow, I would buy another one like that. It's um, second only to in VR, I suppose, in terms of immersiveness. I can't bear a VR the VR headset and the VR experience, so that doesn't work for me. But um, head tracking is absolutely amazing. Honestly, I love it. Head tracking combined with a fair size screen, if you can do it, even better. But yeah, head tracking, I cannot recommend it highly enough. It's a game changer, a complete game changer. Um, like I say, it's not VR, but if VR doesn't work for you, you've you've got to have the old head. If you can stand having this thing stuck on the side of your head, obviously, which is what unit am I using? I'm using the Track IR, which is a purpose-built, dedicated unit, not certainly not the cheapest, but I've had it for years and it just works. I use it in Flight Simulator as well. It's incredible in Flight Simulator. Not that it isn't incredible in Elite, but in Flight Simulator, you've got full, um, what do they call it, 3 degrees of freedom or whatever. So with Elite, I can do that, obviously, and a little bit of that. If you see what I mean, you see what's going on there. With Flight Simulator, I can literally go like that and get something on the dashboard and blow it up that big, and then click on the thing and then sit back in position and it all swaps. It's absolutely amazing. Honestly, it's really really good. I have no experience with any of the other solutions at all. Track IR is the only one I've ever used, and the unit I've got, this little thing that I've got at the moment, I've had for about 7 years, I think, pretty much since I got Elite. Um, it was one of those things that I was looking at getting for Flight Simulator, but never really got round to it. And then when Elite came out, I thought, right, that's it. I'm getting Track IR. End of. So I've got a couple of drop-offs to do still, haven't I? Chuai is not. It's going to be there, I think. I think that's where we're going. Andrew, thanks for your patience, mate. If you don't feel compelled to stick around, buddy, if you want to run off, then by all means run off.
Cargo scoop retracted. Cannot comply.
It's unlikely that there'll be any more violence, I wouldn't have thought. Famous last words,
Frameshift
but
drive charging.
Alzo, yes, I do. Not on my. You can bind it to a joystick, I think, but I haven't. I just
4,
push F9,
3, 2,
and
1.
it switches it
Engage.
off. So do that, or I could do that, and and it stops. You do occasionally. You have to. There's a calibrate button which just kind of recenters it, and every now and then, mine's on F12. Every now and then, I just hit F12 just to recalibrate
Incoming
it.
mission
It
critical
just does that because
message.
you end up sort of, you naturally end up kind of shifting position
Fuel scooping.
when you're sitting at your PC anyway. So it just kind of recenters it again. So you just sit there, look
Fuel
straight ahead, hit
scoop
F12.
disengaged.
It's not a problem. But yeah, I love it. Oh, it's on a planet, brilliant. I tell you what, one of the questions that we get asked all the time is what's going to happen with, obviously we don't know the answer, but what's going to happen when you enter an atmosphere in your ship? Are you going to see any atmospheric entry effects? I'd be very surprised if we didn't, honestly. But the honest answer to that is no one really knows at the moment. But it would be nice if it was kind of Elite's quite good at creating little moments of drama, and it would be nice if that was one of the moments of drama, was like atmospheric entry was a bit kind of, and you've got flames and stuff going on. That'd be really cool, but we don't know yet. Yeah, Mazda, they're not horrendously expensive, but there are budget solutions. But we tried because Ree was quite interested in getting it, and we looked at a budget solution for her, not because I'm mean or a git or anything like that. Um, but yeah, we looked at a budget. That sounds really awful, doesn't it? That was her decision, not mine. She's going to come in the room and deny it now. Um, Hello, dear. So we looked at a budget solution for her, but it didn't work at all. It really didn't work. Um, so if you're gonna do it, I'd say go large, really. Oh, Stan's having a scratch. Look, action shots. Can you don't tweak him, but can you tweak the camera a little bit so that he's a little bit more in frame because his head's off camera at the moment. And let's be honest, they don't turn up for me. Oh no! Don't. You heard the bit where I said don't tweak him. You heard that, didn't you? We all heard me say that. Oh dear. She's got that little mouse thing there, which is basically a big bag of cat heroin. He don't care, does he? You just kind of shove him around. He does not care. So yeah, in summary, can't recommend it highly enough. So yeah, we tried the solution we tried for Re was a mobile phone. There's an app you can get that basically turns your mobile phone
Orbital flight
into
engaged.
head tracking. Um, One of the big appeals of using that system was that it doesn't need any equipment strapped to your head or any reflectors or anything like that. It just picks up your face and tracks that. But it didn't. It really just didn't work. There was a what you want is you need it to be. It sounds silly, but you need it to be as fast and as responsive as possible because if there's even a little bit of lag when you turn your head, it really messes with your brain, and you're in danger of giving yourself a headache. I'm not joking either. You're in danger of giving yourself a headache really, really quickly. It's quite off-putting. Um, And just again, from my limited personal experience, what I found with the Track IR is that it does one thing. It's a dedicated unit, and all it does is track these three dots, these three infrared um, emitters on the head, and that's all it does. And as a result, it does it very, very quickly, and it does it very, very well. Um, So yes, you can use sort of webcam. There are webcam solutions. I think that if you're on a limited budget, that's worth exploring. But just from the little digging around that we did, we just found that the amount of lag that it introduced when you kind of turn your head, it was really
Landing gear
off-putting and just
deployed.
didn't work at all. Literally within a couple of seconds, you're going, oh God, no, oh God, no, I can't do that. So just think, kids, one day you're going to be able to walk around these bases. Dear God, let it be soon. Anything interesting? Not really. We'll have the money. Thank you very much. What else have we got and where have we got to go? That one there. And it's it's Tawanta, where I just was, in fact, lol. I suppose it would have been a horrendous journey anyway, wouldn't it? Because we were 300 light seconds out or something, weren't we? Okay, let's nip there, and then we'll pay that in, and then we'll do the thing. Um, Also, if Yaga says no, we all say no.
Landing gear retracted.
Hello, Sir D. You're right, mate. Welcome to the stream, buddy. The only other thing about head tracking is on the sort of, it only really happens when I'm streaming, but when you turn it off
Frameshift drive charging.
and then forget to turn it on again, and then you go to turn your head, it
4, 3,
absolutely does your
2,
head in.
1. Engage.
You just find your eyes going in the wrong direction. It's really bizarre. It's quite a weird experience. But yeah, I could do stuff like this. I take this for granted, right? But I just want to see. So then, I just wanted to see when Tawanta was coming up over the horizon, so I
Frameshift
can
drive
start charging the
charging.
frame shift. It's just stuff like that, and planetary approaches and stuff. It becomes completely second nature um, to kind of when you're trying to approach a planetary
Ready
port.
to
You
engage.
just kind of turn and look at it, and that's one of the things we've found that Ree has been struggling with, and I couldn't work out why she was struggling so much to approach a specific point on a planetary surface. And it's because it's so much more difficult for her to just turn and look and see where she wants to go,
4,
is the
3,
conclusion that we came
2,
to, basically, wasn't it, dear?
1. Engage.
I stand face planting. Do you want some quick stand while we're. Maximum stand. Yeah, look, Stan does that quite a lot. Look, he smashes his face into the wall and goes to sleep like that. And and then snores.
Fuel scooping. Fuel scooping complete.
Oh, I've got a bad guy coming in. Who is he? Who is he? Who is he? Furacusi. And he's gone again. Should we see if we can kill him? As Ria's just said, smash his face in. She's quite a violent woman. Quite unpleasant. This isn't generally known. You're right there. Oh, he's disappeared. Frightened, that's what that is. It's a shame if I get attacked into Wanta, it's hilarious because the security's so high here, and you know, I'm kind of known. My rep is very high with the authorities here, that they turn up within seconds. Nah, we've lost him, haven't we? Never mind. Don't think it's going to be him somehow. That's a Type 9. Keep scanning just in case. It's possible we might drop in miraculously when we arrive at Macomb, actually. That's not outside the realms of possibility at all. So I'll tell you what, I'll drop into Macomb and I won't get inside the no-fire zone. There we go. What do you know, he's turned up. Come on, mate.
Under attack.
There it is. See what I mean about the authorities turning up? Bit of bonus combat. Didn't think we were going to get this. And an anaconda, no less. Here comes the cavalry. A bit worried that he might run, so I've swapped targets to his frameshift drive just in case. For what difference it'll make, just in case.
Warning, thermal attack. Gaining heat.
Hello, Andrew. Thank you so much, mate. That's really cool of you. Good night, Vienna.
Programming limpet drone. Programming limpet drone. Cargo scoop deployed.
Well, that wasn't awful. British Army voice sounds just like the default Kovas. Track IR plus voice attack plus EDDI. Yeah, there's a combination. Oh my god. Yeah, there is a combination. Are the employees still out? No, they're not. Okay, cool.
Cargo scoop retracted.
Thanks for the assist, Andrew. That's really awesome of you, mate. So we'll park up here. Whoa, hand in, and then we'll do the thing. Ree's very disappointed by today's doing the thing, just to set you up. In a particular boost of confidence this morning,
Docking request granted.
Ree said something along the lines of, "Really?" There is no substitute for multi-cannons. They are quite satisfying, aren't they, Freaky? They really are. Yeah. Yeah, they are quite satisfying, I have to say. I've thought about swapping over the guns or just changing the combination of guns on my Anaconda, which is kind of my favourite combat ship. It's mostly I was in a beam laser phase when I built that ship originally, but I've kind of come to appreciate multi-cannons a bit more. So I have got some multi-cannons on it, but they're underneath and they're kind of an afterthought, whereas the front's all covered in beam lasers that I can see kind of turning and firing. But I'm kind of tempted to change those, but maybe I'll just build another one. What the hell? Where are we? Here we go. Nothing interesting. What the hell? I might as well have that. Right then. So, doing the thing. I'll get off of here actually first, just in case anybody wants to use it. In the unlikely event.
Landing gear retracted. Ship released. Engines engaged.
Just get clear of everything. There we go. Right. Incoming face cam. So this week's Doing the Thing. I have, so for those of you who don't know, Doing the Thing is a little thing we do at the end of every stream, every week, when I remember anyway. We've got this part of the house, we're in the loft in our house basically at the moment. This part of the house is completely full. I always feel the need to clarify this just in case everybody thinks we live in this house that's just covered in gaudy, geeky stuff. It isn't, is it? It isn't. No, the rest of the house is quite tasteful and adult looking, whereas this room is very much full of gaudy, geeky stuff. So we've got a shelf just outside, a set of shelves just outside the door of this room, and every week I usually grab something off of those shelves or something off of the walls or the shelves in here, but usually it's off of the shelf outside the door. So I have an extensive collection of little Star Wars spaceships. Now, I say extensive collection. I've got about 16 of them at the moment, but I'm quite happy for that to be 50. But I know that might upset Ree, so I'm just going to give you the first. I don't think I've shown any of these on camera before, but I'm going to give you the first two of these, and I'll in the next few weeks I'll work my way up through them at some point, intermingled with a bit of other stuff. So um, first of all, let me just get there. We go. So that is, I can't remember what the hell these are called, but they're from episode one. These are Naboo. This is a Naboo starfighter, I believe. The camera isn't doing it justice. It's actually a really, let me just pull that off of there. It's actually a really cool little, it's a die cast model. It's mostly die cast and plastic. And it was hilariously cheap. Which I always appreciate in these models because, as you know, I've got quite a lot of them. So there's a little thrifty shop near us that occasionally, very occasionally, has things like this in. The supply has dried up recently, but whenever I see them, I do tend to grab them. And this is, I don't know what that is. That's I can't, well, I know what it is, but I can't. It's a droid on these droid fighters. Is that right? They're both from episode one. The paint job seems a bit weird on this one. I seem to remember them being brown. So I don't quite know why this one looks like a World War II battleship um, with that somewhat exotic sea camouflage. But there you go. So that is a droid fighter from episode 1 and a Naboo starfighter from episode 1. Not the coolest of these little models that I've got. I have got way cooler ones, but you got to start somewhere. So that's those two. I do like them though. I'm not a massive fan of episode 1. I like elements of it, but I'm not a huge fan. But I do, spaceships are spaceships are spaceships. I do love a spaceship. So that is this week's Doing the Thing. Droid Starfighter. Thank you, Mazda. Oh, you collect them as well. I get this. So there's the interesting thing is, right, there's kind of two tiers of these things. There's the cheap ones, which is what these are. You can tell they're the cheap ones because the stand has got like that's literally what that's for. There's like a little thing for putting your fingy in. I think the idea is that if you're 12, you're supposed to go, or 52, you're supposed to go like that with it. There's two tiers of these things. So there's the cheap ones, which is what these particular ones are, and there's the Black Series ones, which are allegedly more detailed and are meant to be much more of a model kind of thing, and they're way more expensive. I Whilst the collector in me would ordinarily default to the Black Series stuff because it's supposedly more details, I've found that that's not. It's not that that's not necessarily the case, but the cheaper toy ones are in a lot of cases either just as good, or they can be made just as good with a little bit of dry brushing, to put a little bit of dirt on there. So some of the ones I've got have been dry brushed to lift the details out on them, and it really makes a huge difference. These ones haven't been dry brushed yet. They're on the list to get done at some point, but they will get dry brushed, and you find it really lifts the details out. So I did do a whole thing about that a good few streams ago. Go on. Oh, right. So we've put Stan on a diet. Let me just switch over to that. Reece just said Stan's current position is proving why we need to put him on a diet. There you go. Look at him. Fat cat. Honestly, he's just a nightmare. So it's really weird though, because Squid is our other cat. Squid is the scavenger. She's the one who eats absolutely everything. Um, and she's really skinny, really really skinny. Stan is not. He's not. He doesn't really beg, does he? He doesn't sort of. But if there is a bowl of food down, he will eat all of it, all of it. So we have put Stan on a diet now. Whenever we give cat treats out now, Squid will get a little pile of cat treats because there's nothing of her, and Stan gets two. He gets two little tiny cat treats, and he hasn't noticed that we're no longer giving him, 4 or 5 cat treats. He's now only getting two. He hasn't noticed. He just eats them and then jumps down and puts his face in the food bowl. So, and we've got him low calorie cat food as well now, haven't we? He doesn't really like it, but them's the breaks, fatty. Look at him. It's embarrassing, isn't it? Honestly, huge cat. So we will get his weight down. He did get to. I think he has lost a little bit. I think he has lost a little bit actually. Yeah, he did because you remember when I said to you we need to do something about Stan. He's but he's really funny when you're walking behind him. He waddles as well. I know I shouldn't laugh because it's. So yeah, we are. We are. So yeah, sorry about that. We are working on Stan at the moment. But he doesn't exercise either. I don't expect to put him on a treadmill or anything, but this is basically what Stan does all day. He'll go out, do a quick dog patrol, come back, and then face plant for 12 hours. So that's our current dealings with Stan. So there we are. Oh dear. OBS for streaming. Yes, I do. I use Streamlabs OBS. The camera adds pounds. Yeah, I'm not sure how many cameras he's eaten, Freaky Deaky, but it's quite a few, honestly. Hello, Nick Webb. You're right, mate. How are you? Mazda. There we go. Yeah, the ones made by the Black Titanium series. That's it. Yeah. I mean, if I could, I'd get. But I mean, they've. I think Kylo's starship from the last three films. He's got that sort of black back wing thing that kind of does that. On every model I've seen of that, the wings don't move. They don't tilt outwards. They just sit bolt upright, and they're not hinged. Even the Black Series one that I bought, they're not hinged. They just sit like, and that annoyed me. So you know, um, a lot of them, like I've got X-wings and the wings open and stuff, and the cockpit canopy opens and all that stuff. So it's not like it's something they can't do at that scale because the X-wings are way smaller. But no, the Kylo ship. So you kind of have to look at them and go, well, is it worth shelling out the extra for it to do the thing that you want it to do, or does it not do it? So some of them are really good. Most of them, to be brutally honest, are really, really good. The titanium ones, but I do kind of have a really close look at them before I kind of go, "Ugh, do I want that or not?" I really want I've got quite a few figurines as well. We'll get onto those at some point. I've got a whole army of little figures, and I really want a Mandalorian one of those at the moment, and I can't find a budget one, so I might have to stump up the full asking price for that. But I think that one's kind of worth it because it does look very, very cool. So Nick Webb, yeah, don't get used to it, mate. I got quite a few. I don't want to say complaints, but loads of people have mentioned the fact that I didn't have a scarf on. So um, I will I will make every effort to wear a scarf if I'm going to be on camera. I know the side of my neck is clearly offensive, so I have got a scarf on most of the time at home. It's very, very rare that I don't have a scarf on, to be honest. But yeah, that particular one did catch me off guard. What was that, Ree? What'd you say? You liar! Oh, right then. Having told you about my fat cat, shouted at my wife, and then told you about my scarves with with a little bit of gameplay. I will I will now release you to your day. Oh dear. Shouldn't scarfless videos be Peggy 17? Oh dear, oh dear. So I can wear nothing except a scarf, and it won't be Peggy 17. Is that what we're saying? I think we'll make that do then. Thank you very much for joining me, people. It's always lovely to see you. What have we got going on this week? So we're Thursday today, aren't we? So not necessarily Ibex the goat. Not necessarily. No. Sometimes it is cold. Sometimes I just like having a scarf around my neck because I just don't like it's. I don't know. Odd. So we got Witch Space news tomorrow. I think that's all in our current plans for the moment this week, isn't it? Yeah. So we got Witch Space news coming out tomorrow. Don't miss that. And we'll have more next week. You know what we're like. We'll have more stuff coming out next week. We are working on quite an interesting video at the moment, which I don't want to spoil. So something a little bit unusual and probably some stuff that you have never seen in Elite before. That's the aim of it. So we're working on that at the moment. Thank you very much for joining us. If you're not aware of who we are, everything is linked below. The channel you're watching us on at the moment is our second channel, in actual fact. You're not on the Buur Pit, you're on the Buur Pit Plays at the moment. So if you haven't chucked us a sub already, then please, please do that. I promise we won't spam you with rubbish. That's really not what we try and do at all. Thank you very much for joining us. It's always a pleasure to see you, you wonderful people. Enjoy the rest of your day. Do please have a lovely weekend. Stay safe, look after each other. We'll be back at the very least, we'll be back next Thursday with another one of these ridiculous things where we discuss my scarves and my fat cat. Have a lovely weekend, and we'll see you later. Take care. Say goodbye, Ree. Yeah, I knew you were going to do that. Honestly, it's dreadful.